guys, it's Noreen,
And Phil.
and you're listening to Two Adults and a Baby. And today we will be reviewing St. Elmo's Fire.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. And I'll start off by asking Noreen, why do you think that this belongs in our catalog of 80s movie reviews?
It's fun. It talks about the life of, and maybe a lot of people have experienced this post-college. College is like supposed to be the greatest time in people's lives, and you have this group of friends that's very close, and they're having like a hard time adjusting to the real world.
Yeah, even though it is straight from the 80s in every conceivable way. And I've always had a theory that like the 80s gets more 80s like by the middle of the decade.
Yeah,
like,
I see that. Yeah.
And this is from
1985.
85. So, you got the
right
hair.
Smack in the middle, yeah.
Right. But nonetheless, like I think that like where they're talking about like trying to enter into the real world from college, this is something that's timeless and a lot of people can relate to.
Yeah, absolutely.
The difficulties of adjusting to like life outside of school.
Yeah. And I guess in some ways, like every character was adjusting. They were all having a little bit of trouble, right?
Yeah, all of them were having a tough time in different ways, though.
In different ways. Like you had Alec, who originally he was like a Democrat, and then he switched over to being a Republican because he said that working for a Republican politician actually paid more, right?
Yeah, and you're getting again where we've so many times that theme of the yuppie,
it's there.
Yeah,
it's that quintessential '80s theme, right?
Right. Now he's wearing a suit and he's working for a Republican senator.
Yeah.
And
then you have Demi Moore's character who's having an affair with the boss. Her name is Jules. And then you have Wendy, and she is obsessed with Billy, right? And Billy's married. Billy's played by Rob Lowe. And he's married and he has a kid, but he can't like keep a job, and he's just having trouble in his marriage because he just can't be just like one woman one guy kind of like in that kind of relationship. So I guess he misses being wild, misses being in college.
Yeah, even though he's a musician, like they show he was like a frat boy in college, which was a little strange, right? Like you wouldn't think of it because he goes back to his old frat one day and they just want him to like buy drugs for them or something.
Yeah, I was thinking he was maybe more of a lone wolf, musician. But yeah, and then you have, let's see, who else do we have? Emilio Estevez's character, Kirby, and he's just obsessed with this doctor played by Andy McDowell. And who else do we have?
So we have
Andrew McCartney.
Andrew McCarthy is like a wannabe writer, or he is a writer, and he's probably the quietest person in the group, right?
Yeah, and he's in love with his best friend's girlfriend.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, and the blonde, I forget what the blonde woman's name is.
Wendy.
Wendy, right. Oh, right. Right, you said she's in love with Rob Lowe's character. So, which of these characters did you think had the most interesting plot, or the?
Well, like I was just thinking, like I wasn't really rooting for any of them. I didn't feel like any of them were like particularly very sweet people. Like maybe Ali Sheedy's character was okay. She wasn't ever really trying to hurt anyone, but I felt like the rest of them were very like careless, right? Like, and I think at the end she was just angry because her boyfriend was cheating on her, so she was like, okay, well, I can do whatever I want. But I felt like she was maybe one of the nicer characters. I felt like the rest of them were a little careless. Kirby wasn't evil, he was just obsessed like a stalker. But the rest of them, I felt like they were just very careless. They didn't care about other people's feelings. They just, acted on impulse. Right. So I just wasn't like rooting for any of them. I didn't particularly care for any of the characters, although, like the actors all did a great job playing their roles,
Yeah, I kind of found like Emilio Estevez's Kirby's like plot line, like maybe the one I disliked the most.
Oh, really?
Like it just, I know it was kind of flat, right? He's just obsessed with this woman, and then like there's. And she doesn't ever really seem bothered by it. In fact, by the end,
she has a lot of patience, right? Like, okay, he's stalking me, but let me be nice to him.
Yeah, maybe because it seemed unrealistic that she's not weirded out at all.
Yeah, she wasn't.
By him, like following her up to like I guess like a ski lodge, like completely outside in a snowstorm.
Right, just like kind of invading her privacy. You know, she was with her boyfriend. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a, maybe the least believable, I
Oh,
guess I
really?
could say.
That like that extreme of a stalker.
Yeah, but I mean, it fits into where they're just, not really adults yet and just having trouble like fitting into adult life. Like they're all
Yeah.
drinking. The whole movie. They're all like
Yeah, they're all
drinking
at
and
that same
smoking.
college
And,
bar. Yeah. Yeah, it's like they can't get out of this college phase. Like they're just scared to go into the real world, or with everyone. You know, you have trouble adjusting from school. You know, transitioning to like any new phase of your life. So in that way, I think this movie is really great because we can all relate to that, right? Like whenever we go from one phase to another, it's all about adjustment and change. And we as human beings, like sometimes we like change, but other times we're afraid of it too. You know.
yeah, so in that way, it's like even though I think like the characters are not really likable, we can
Yeah.
kind of relate
We
to
can
them.
relate to them in that way, that like the fear of like change and having to grow up and all of that. Yeah.
What did you think about Demi Moore's character? I mean, I think
I loved her.
Yeah.
So speaking of 80s, I loved her like 80s style. I mean, she was just fabulous. Like she had like the 80s hair, and I actually liked the gaudy jewelry, like the big chunky like earrings and like the shiny jewels, and her name was Jules, and yeah, it was great. Like I loved the style of that character.
Yeah, her apartment and
Her apartment was pink, right?
and I gotta look it up. Is that looked like Billy Idol
It
with
did
like
look like Billy Idol with that earring.
yeah,
right?
with an earring that lights
that
up.
lights up. I
and-
thought that was kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah, for those of you who
You would see pictures like that in the hair salons.
Yeah.
In like the 90s, I remember.
right when you'd be
Yeah.
sitting in like the hair, or a barbershop or hair salon, like in the 80s, as
Yeah.
we did.
And even in the early 90s, I remember you would still see those photos.
yeah, the barbershops that hadn't really like renovated
Yeah,
yet.
yeah, they still have those 80s styles. Yeah.
It would look like
Pictures.
Billy Idol.
So yeah, that kind of looked like her apartment. Yeah.
So, so she's like the wild child,
Yeah.
Her and Rob Lowe are definitely
The wild ones. Yeah.
yeah, and maybe like we were talking a lot about this group, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like they're like I don't know. I would you say it's like a realistic group where they're all kind of diverse in their like
their own
personalities? Like
Yeah, I thought it was kind of cool, like that how like, they weren't all just like jocks. They weren't all just musicians. They weren't all just nerds. Like it was a combination of different groups of like different individuals in this one group, which is I loved it. And also I just wanted to take a moment to add that I've written a book. It's called The Odd Muslim. It's about a group of eclectic college Muslim kids, and yeah, like it's like a group of just like different individuals. So that's why I kind of love this movie too, in the sense that like, my book is sort of like that too. Again, it is The Odd Muslim. It's available on Amazon in Kindle and paperback edition. So yeah, please give that a read also.
yeah, I've read it and it's really good. It's
Oh,
kind of
thank
like
you.
a modern version of. Well, it takes place in college, but as far as like having this group of people and different personalities
Yeah.
and different,
Yeah,
like
it's kind of fun, right?
yeah.
Like when different types of people hang out and interact with each other, I think that's really great. Yeah.
Yeah, like we said, like Rob Lowe, I mean, he's this like, kind of wild, musician, but he's like a former frat boy.
Right.
And then the Wendy, she's like
kind of nerdy a little bit, maybe like, well, more of like an introvert, and yeah.
yeah, you wouldn't think like somebody like her would be in the same group of friends as
No,
like Jules like Demi
right?
Moore's
yeah, you
character.
Wouldn't think that
like
at all. Yeah, and
like-
Ali Sheedy was somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting to me. Yeah. Yeah. Hi, Adam. What are you
Yeah.
doing? Do you want to say hello to everybody? He just woke up from his nap, so we just
Yeah.
gave him a bottle and. You want to say hello to everybody? Hi.
Not yet. Okay.
Not yet? That's okay. That's all right. So yeah, did you have anything else to add, Phil, about this movie? What did you like about it? Did you have a favorite character?
No, not really. I didn't really have a favorite character. I kind of disliked Rob Lowe's character at certain
he was
points.
kind of reckless. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just selfish, reckless. I kind of didn't like him, but of course at the end, right? He like
He's the hero, kind of.
Yeah, he helps, Jules, because they said we need a criminal, and like
yeah, to break in and to like just talk to her. Like when she was sad about losing her job, he was like, "Hey, what's the big deal? I've lost 20 since college."
Right, he can comfort her.
He could comfort her, like, look at me, I'm much more of a wreck, So yeah, I think this was a really fun movie. If you haven't already, please go ahead and check it out.
Yeah.
And please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And thank you so much for listening.
All right, everybody. Till the next one. See you then.
Bye.
Bye.